I'm gay, gay. My bitch is gay. My brothers is gay. Even a stick is gay. Doja Cat is gay, gay, gay. But I don't swing that way. But I'm trying to indulge in gay. Can't slip and let them know that I'm gay. Even a slight attender is gay.
Okay, so this is my reaction to one of the most disliked Jubilee videos that I just so happen to be in, which is fun.
We brought together 7 queer people.
I am a queer person.
I'm 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 a queer
I look so
person.
cute.
I'm a queer person.
One is a liar. Who is the odd one out?
Scale to 1 to 10, how gay are we?
8.
I'd also say 8.
I'm a 9.
Yeah, I would say a 9 or 10.
A 7.
What makes you a 7?
Because I like both. Like I'm in like a poly couple right now with a guy and a girl. So.
Okay, period.
Okay, what do you like better?
I think this is one of my like first relationships the last 2 years. So I'm like kind of more open to like an older couple. So I'm getting.
You're not
more
answering
towards,
what you like better.
I like girls a little more. That's why I was at 7.
Okay.
When Travis was asking questions, he was kind of snappy with me and like calling out that I didn't get to his point straight away.
They were very nervous when they were speaking. I just feel like they were skirting around every single question that was being asked.
Wait, but what's your sexuality? If you don't, sorry, I cut you off, I'm so sorry.
I'm bisexual, I'm poly and bisexual.
Okay, fair.
So when did like everyone kind of discover their like sexuality, I guess? I was raised as a Mormon. I had like a secret relationship with one of my roommates in college. After that, I just couldn't deny it anymore, and I was like, okay, I'm gay.
I was 18. I experimented with a girl for the first time, and a lot of my previous life made sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I came out the womb queer, and I've been queer ever since.
So are you a golden gay?
I'm a golden gay.
Good for you.
Oh yeah, with the golden gay comment, like
To the point and like not saying a lot,
I
which also made me
am not a
upset.
golden gay, even though I'm a lesbian. So yeah.
I went through a straight period, that's what I call it. I identify as polysexual. Most genders, but not all. I hate cis men, so.
I'm a golden gay.
Yeah.
I'm a golden gay, but I don't really identify as gay anymore. So
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
You know?
And in college, I started like experimenting more, and I grew up in Ohio, which is like very conservative, and like my mom is like very like traditional Asian, so it kind of just stayed to me until I kind of moved out, and then I moved to California like a year and a half ago, and it's been more open, and everybody's been really awesome.
Welcome to Cali.
Even though they are non-binary, that doesn't automatically make you queer.
Okay, let me speak to that comment because like judging off of the comments on the video, like people didn't understand what I meant by that. And what I meant by like you can be non-binary and still not identify as queer, a lot of people don't like the queer label because again, like it has a history of being derogatory. And then two, like I'm not going to tell you how you identify. If you're a non-binary person and you identify as straight, you can do that. It does not matter what other people's comfortability is. I feel like there was a huge disconnect between my comment of that and the comment section on the video where they're like, you are queer, you're a part of the LGBTQ community. And it's just like, yeah, you are, but we were talking about sexuality, and Devins doesn't identify as a queer person in terms of sexuality. They identify as straight. So that's where that comment came from.
Travis is playing a very attack kind of gameplay. He's not really like giving us any details.
Oh my God.
We have a 3-way tie.
I hope they talk about why they voted for me.
Ties between Natia, Devins, and Travis.
I was shocked, flabbergasted.
I'm gonna give each of you 30 seconds on the clock
At that
to
part,
state
my
your
heart, like,
case,
was
and then we'll
beating.
do another round of voting. Natia, starting with you.
Well, if you guys vote me off, that's like super homophobic. I'm just gonna say.
Also, that was
I'm
a
just
joke.
high femme, so like if you're distracted by my clothing, you're just like, she doesn't look gay. It's because this is like gender affirming to me to present myself in like a super feminine way while being gay and not being like masculine and just like, yeah.
So I guess I'll go over maybe nightlife or something. I guess we'll start like beaches and then go down to
Okay, like, I love the editing for this though. And when Travis made that face, like, I made sure to look at Travis because I was like, if I can give Travis the same stank face that he just gave, like, we're not voting. support each other.
No way to defend yourself. List every gay bar you know. Okay. Makes no sense. It was a terrible defense.
If you have 30 seconds, like talk about how much you love penis or something. Like don't say you love Hamburger Marys.
I'm married to a man, so I don't know if that tells you anything. I've been queer since 12. I have a Winnie the Pooh tattoo and a Totoro tattoo. Come on, guys. That's as queer as they come.
Just because you know the names of like a gay bar crawl doesn't mean anything.
Sorry.
Good game, good game.
Good gameplay.
I was so nervous, so
And
I was like
kinda sucks
clapping
as
for
eliminated. I
everything.
don't think they let me talk enough and kind of explain myself.
So do you guys all like identify as queer? Is that like an
Queer,
okay
gay,
term?
like what do you guys?
I go between queer and bi. I was really comfortable with bi, but then my partner from high school actually came out to me recently as a trans woman, and my current partner is a trans man. And so the label bisexual has kind of just like started to feel a little like pushing me into a box, and I go between. That's what I'm trying to say.
It wasn't until I was like in my 30s that I discovered there was a whole other side of me that I could put a name to, like, and identify, and it's such a more full.
It is.
Yeah, I completely agree.
This round, like, everyone was just trying to like talk, and you'll see it like in a couple of seconds because I did not let Keith talk at all because we had like 40 seconds left, and I was like, if I let Keith talk, I'm getting voted out. So
I'm also attracted to women. I'm attracted to trans individuals. And yeah,
Yeah,
women are beautiful. Women are beautiful.
And I feel like with me, like identifying as a lesbian after being like so strict on non-labeling when I was in high school and stuff because of like the suppression I went through, I finally feel like I belong to a community, which is like so stupid to say, but in retrospect, okay, cool.
Yeah, labels can be liberating or they can be like conforming. It's whatever is true for you as a person.
He was very quiet. Like, I knew from the beginning he was gay, but at the end of the round, Elizabeth was just like more forward about her queerness.
I didn't know that Travis voted for me.
No.
What the heck?
It's okay, it's okay.
No, because when we all went back to the casting room, like Travis came back and I was just like, I want to know who voted for me, and he gave me like kind of a dirty look. But I didn't think that he would have voted for me, but whatever.
And you wish to continue playing the game, please raise your hand.
And I raised my hand here because I thought everyone else would.
Wow.
I think we got it.
I don't know who I would.
Yeah? Okay.
I feel good.
Is the voting already done? Like we're concluding because I don't want to throw myself under the bus.
No, voting's done. Yeah.
Okay,
We're done now?
fair.
Just throw it
So
out.
I'm like kind of sus of you, only because like you have the stereotypical piercings, and I'm just like they would put a gay stereotype.
That's fair.
We're done too.
It's because
That's
I believe
fair.
you're gay. Like
Thank you.
You're just like too gay.
Okay.
I was sus of you because my gaydar just wasn't going off. That was
She's,
all
like,
there was
totally
to
like
it.
stereotype.
Yeah, like I definitely get gay vibes from you.
But she
Like,
could
for
also
sure.
be a farmer's market girly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just,
you
like,
could be a
straight
granola
up.
No, you know
For
what?
sure.
This was an issue in my past
You were just
relationship.
like, I thought you were a horse girl, so I was just like,
Oh no.
No, like to affirm you fully, you look like every like stereotypical white gay that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You called Elizabeth a horse girl.
I did. I mean,
I think calling her a horse girl was meant to be like a joke. Even Elizabeth thought it was funny, but they cut everything.
I'm gay. Y'all, I'm gay.
Like she was clearly joking in that point.
I came onto set and I was the only one in Birkenstocks, like with my dogs out barking, and I was just like, well, I mean, at least I like have the lesbian shoes, but I didn't think that made me like a farmer's market horse girl.
Just to confirm, we feel
Good
confident.
ending. I'm nervous, but
We're good.
Okay. If the lights turn red,
I
that
jumped
means
in
the
this
roll
part,
is still in the box.
and I was just so
and you lose.
embarrassed. I'm not even gonna lie.
If the lights turn green, that means the mole.
You can
was
see how
voted
nervous I
out,
was. Look at how I
and
was
you
looking
win.
around.
We love it.
I knew y'all were gay.
I know.
Now we're gonna have the mole reveal themselves.
It was Devon's. Like I knew it was Devon's from the jump because they had like Sanrio gear, and I was just like, you're straight. Even though I have Sanrio gear, but whatever.
Wait, are your pronouns actually they them?
Okay. You don't identify as queer. Yeah.
So what
that
were you
makes sense.
faking?
My backstory. Well, I am from Ohio and I am in a poly relationship, so just like the man.
Just the man part?
Yeah, everything else is pretty good.
So is the poly couple that you're with a
Two
straight
girls.
couple, or like two girls, or a man and a woman?
So I have 3 relationships, but both my partners are bi.
Are you an ally though? All right. All right.
With those nails.
If you're questioning yourself, allow yourself the space to explore and feel okay with not knowing for a little bit.
I lost someone very close to me a year ago who was a young queer person, and I just want every young queer person to know that it gets better, and there will come a point in your life where you are very confident in being part of this beautiful community.
If you find the queer community, you have a place in it immediately. You're immediately accepted into it. Take some time to think it over. Figure out if you're one of us, and if you are, congratulations, because we're fantastic.
It's reparations from the straight community.
Reparations. Oh yeah, okay. Happy Pride!
Okay, so wow. So now that I've watched the video, here are my thoughts. They did cut out a lot because we were filming for like an hour, I feel, which is really short. But still, like, they cut out a lot of speaking parts, which I feel like lacks, it takes away the context that a lot of the things were said in. So I want to speak to the comments a little bit, at least like the comments specifically about me. But when I said just because you're non-binary, that doesn't mean that you're queer, I was talking purely in terms of sexuality. Like, if, for example, like Devins is trans masc, they only date women. To me, like, identify how you want to identify. I'm not going to tell you how to identify, but they identified as straight. And that's okay. I feel like there was a bit of disconnect in the video versus the premise of it, if that makes sense. So, like, with the thumbnail, how it says, like, 6 queer versus 1 non-queer, and then in the actual thumbnail picture, it's like, guess who's not straight? I feel like it should have just been, like, a guess who's straight versus guess who's not straight kind of thing. It shouldn't have been queer. Queer is an umbrella term for gender and or sexuality. In this case, we were using sexuality, but obviously the people that watched the video were confused by that. And they're just like, what do you mean? Like, you are a part of the LGBTQ community, you are queer. And while that is true, we were talking specifically about sexuality. Devins identifies as straight. They can do that. Live your life. So yeah, like, that's what I wanted to speak on. And I did go more in depth when they did the interviews, but a lot of the content was cut out, so I didn't get to go as in depth. So it's literally just that soundbite of me talking about just because you're non-binary doesn't mean that you're queer, which obviously I know it needs a little bit more nuance. You are queer because you are a part of the queer community as an LGBTQ if you are non-binary. If you are a straight person, you are not queer in terms of sexuality. Just want to get that out of the way. And then also, like, something that wasn't shown in the video but was spoken about post-rap, I guess you would say. A lot of people were still calling Devins bisexual, and they're not comfortable with that label because they exclusively date women. So, like, I don't know. I just feel like at that point, why are you still invalidating someone's sexuality? Granted, it wasn't included in the video, but it was a conversation that we all had after, because they used the story of their bisexual girlfriend and, like, spoke to that instead of, like, having an actual story, I guess you could say. But yeah, so yeah. I don't hold myself to the standard of a golden gay because I have had a relationship with a man, and also I don't think it's a real thing. Like, I recognize that it is extremely dated to think that way, and the only people that tend to think that way are, like, the older lesbians or the older gays that try exclusively hard to gatekeep our community, and they're usually transphobic. But like I said, my bad for assuming that everyone would know that I was joking. You know, not everyone knows your humor, which is fine. But the amount of comments about golden gays, it's like, babes, if I'm talking about golden gays, like, I'm already excluding pan and bi people because I'm talking about gay people, as in homosexuals, which is what I am. But yeah, just wanted to speak to that. And then this really didn't happen to me. I don't think anyone was like calling me a biphobe. I think like they were calling, it was weird because like we all went through our sexualities and they cut after the part of Devin's, but like Casey is bisexual, I'm a lesbian, I believe Elizabeth is a bisexual, and then Zach was a bisexual too, if I'm not mistaken. Like the only gay as in like homosexual people there were Travis, Keith, and myself. And I just found it interesting that the people getting called biphobes were the bisexuals. And I guess like the people viewing the video didn't catch the part when they talked about being bisexual. But like, yeah, I can't really speak too much to that. But I would say that like I don't differentiate or differ trans people outside of the binary if they identify within it. So what I mean by that is like if you're a trans woman, I would categorize you as a woman. If you're a trans man, I would categorize you as a man. Being attracted to trans people that identify within the binary is like, that still makes you bi, you know, like that still makes you straight. That's like, it still validates your sexuality. You don't have to treat trans people that identify within the binary as an outlier. And I just wanted to get that point across. But you have to also understand, while they did cut a lot of parts out, it is a game. So it's like if you say something that goes against the group, then you are more likely to get voted out and there's a target on your back. So, you know, like this has been the more you know. But yeah, like I'm glad at the parts that they did cut out where I just was a complete nervous wreck and just kept talking over and over and over about like nothing basically, because I did keep going on tangents. I will say though, like when Elizabeth said that she took offense to the horse skull comment, I took that as a joke. I did not take her being serious at all, because like when we got back to the casting room, like no one was uncomfortable, no one was upset, like, and it would have been an open and safe space to like say, hey, like I didn't like that comment, especially because like I was so brazen when the cameras were off. I was just like, okay, who voted for me, you know? And I went out of my way to like ask them like, why did you vote for me and stuff, you know, like no shame, because I don't know these people and might as well. But also some of the comments about Devin's, like, again, I can't speak to how they felt or how they currently feel, but they were a really shy person when we were all interacting with each other, even before we started shooting. Like they were just really like nervous and really shy. And that makes sense, especially if you're playing the quote unquote liar in the game. You're going to be nervous, you're going to be scared. I wasn't even playing the mole and I was nervous because I'd never done anything like this before. Devon's has, but they're still a shy person. That's just like how they are. Even if you pay attention to their Instagram, like, and you interact with them on there, like they're really shy. They don't really post because they're a really shy person. And that's okay. Like, don't take that as like they felt they were being attacked. But then again, like I haven't asked them how they feel. I'm just assuming. So yeah, that is basically it. I mean, thanks Jubilee for allowing me the opportunity. To the people that followed me because you saw me in the video and you thought that I was cute, thanks. Yeah, would I do it again? Yes. Oh, one thing that I do want to say is that when we were like there and like everything had wrapped and we got back to the casting room, and we were talking about like how the casting went. Devon's was the mole because like one of their friends that works for Jubilee that was casting was like, you need to be the mole. So that's why they were the mole. Like, I'm sure if it were an organic pick, they would have went with someone who is cisgender, heterosexual that way. But instead, they went with a trans het person. So, you know, and this has been The More You Know. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Yeah, also in the comments, like, it wasn't a lot of people, but a lot of, like, this is just personally for me, like, a lot of non-Black people were going out of their way to call me sis, as in, like, sister, and I find that microaggressive because I don't know you, and you're using it in a negative tone, so it's like, what are you doing this for? Like, would you be talking to me this way if I were of another race? No, you wouldn't, because you don't know me. So yeah, that's all that I wanted to say. I hope that cleared the air for a lot of people. There was a lot of just animosity towards that video, I see, and it sucks. And should they have chosen like a cis het mole that just had quote unquote gay stereotypes going on? Yeah, but they didn't. They did it conditionally, and that's okay. Like, technically they're right, but I think like the main thing is just remembering that you can't force labels onto someone who doesn't want them and who doesn't feel they fall into those labels. Like, that is the main point. So yeah. Also, I was surprised, like, I looked actually really good because when I was there, I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna look like a hot mess, I'm gonna look sweaty, I'm gonna look ugly, I'm gonna look dirty, like, I'm not gonna look cute. And I looked really cute, and people were following me because they probably thought that I looked cute too, and I was just like, wow, I love it here. It's like nice getting that validation and seeing like the few comments like naming me specifically that are like, oh yeah, she's so pretty. It's just like, thanks guys, really appreciate that.
I'm gay, my bitch is gay, my brothers is gay, even a stick is gay, Doja Cat is gay, but I don't swing that way, but I'm trying to indulge in gay, can't slip and let them know that I'm gay, even a slight attender is gay.